the Royal Rumble match. The single most influential match type in all of professional wrestling, and it's right around the corner. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's going to be a fun month. Not only does it signify the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, but it also provides a rollercoaster of emotions for the viewers. A who's who for who will win the match, the nostalgic feeling of a one-off appearance, and the excitement of the debut of your favourite NXT star. And then that moment. The moment the final guy is thrown over the top rope and there is one man standing tall, or woman, the winner of the Royal Rumble match. The guarantee of a world title match at WrestleMania used to be the main event. Don't know, it's just not anymore. Memorable winners of the Royal Rumble match include Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, John Cena, Randy Orton, and the most recent winner, the current WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre. But who will win the 2021 Royal Rumble match? Who will WWE choose to be this year's guy? Well, that doesn't matter. You know how it is by now, because this is how Dylan would do it, the Royal Rumble match. Before we begin, I should address some factors. This is not a prediction video. If you want to see my predictions, you can come join me on the night of the Royal Rumble, where I will be live streaming my reactions right here on this YouTube channel. So if you don't want to miss that, hit the subscribe button. You know, why not? What are you missing out on? Plus, there won't be many viewers, so you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to get to talk to me during the show. Also, when booking this match, we need to consider some factors such as the storylines that are currently being played on Raw and SmackDown. We need to look at who is doing what going into the match and sort of keep it relative to how they will continue the stories and how they will shape up the WrestleMania card. And of course, we need to consider the pandemic. I know it's a sore talking point. I know it's been beaten to death, but it still needs to be considered here. You've got to think about the people that could possibly return and who can logically come back for this one-off appearance. You don't want there to be needless travel, so the people that do return, you will need to have had some kind of involvement with WWE over the past number of months, so we avoid the needless travel. Injuries are also another common thing, especially in WWE, and the people that are injured, we've got to realise won't be in this match. So the likes of Braun Strowman, Andrade, Jinder Mahal, and the Royal Rumble Spotfest King himself, Kofi Kingston, will all be unable to compete, so I haven't selected them at all. So I say we stop talking now and we just get straight into this, and we'll start with the first two entrants, who are going to be Ricochet and the leader of Retribution, Mustafa Ali. So straight away we've got this storyline going into the match. We've got Ricochet, who is trying to avoid joining this faction, Retribution, and Mustafa Ali is trying to convince Ricochet to join. Ricochet is apparently being mistreated in the WWE. Well, that's in the eyes of Mustafa Ali, and I think eventually we're going to see Ricochet join the group, but right now in the storyline, I think it's perfect for these two to start the match. They're both cruiserweights, they both can work, they've both got agility, they've both got stamina, they can run, or it'll be believed that they can run the entire way through. So the match will start with Ali trying to talk to Ricochet first, saying they don't need to fight, they can work together, they'll be better as a unit, as a tag team. But then Ricochet just smacks him one. You only need to keep it simple, and as they're trying to eliminate each other, number 3 comes out, and it's the 24/7 champion, R-Truth. There should be fun elements into the Royal Rumble. It's the moments within the Rumble that gets people excited, and I think that having somebody like R-Truth, who is one of the most entertaining wrestlers at the moment in this match at this point, would add a bit of an extra element that you don't really expect, especially in today's WWE product. And you've got to remember, the 24/7 championship can be won at any point, and then rules will also apply in the Royal Rumble match. In the 90 seconds between the 3rd and 4th entrant, I would have the 24/7 championship hot potato between the 3 men in the ring. So I would have Mustafa Ali pinning R-Truth to become the champion, then Ricochet pins Mustafa Ali, and Ricochet will be the champion as number 4 comes out, and it's our first return. Because this man likes to eat apples and spit them in people's faces. It's Carlito. Now, the reason I've included Carlito here is because he was rumoured to be a guest on Raw Legends Night a few weeks ago, but he just didn't show up. He just didn't show up on our screens. Now, apparently he was there, he just wasn't used, so I think that this might have been a marination to try and get him into being in the Royal Rumble match. And of course we know his famous spot where he spits apples into people's faces, but let's be realistic, the coronavirus will not facilitate that. It's not going to happen. But amidst the arrival of Carlito, R-Truth will get a sneaky pin on Ricochet and regain the 24/7 championship. And then of course the standard train of nobodies will come down and chase R-Truth out of the Rumble, and in typical idiotic R-Truth fashion, R-Truth will jump over the top rope and eliminate himself from the Royal Rumble match. So Carlito enters the ring and begins getting offense on Ricochet and Mustafa Ali. When Carlito is focused on Ricochet, Mustafa Ali will grab Carlito and throw him out of the Rumble match. Carlito hasn't been that active as a wrestler over the past number of years, so he can't expect him to have that much going on, and you can't expect him to stand for a long period of time. And you've got to remember, Mustafa Ali spoke about the Legends Night and how shambolic he thought the entire event was a few weeks ago on Raw Talk, so it kind of just makes sense to add that little bit of a tweak and prove that Mustafa Ali is representing the newer guys. And that's just in time for number 5 to come out, Jey Uso. Jey Uso is going to be the Iron Man of this match. He's going to go the longest in this match, and he's going to really show what influence both Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns have had on him over the past number of months. Over the past 3 or 4 months, he's really shone as a single star, being a strong challenger to the Universal Championship. And the story going into this match for Jey Uso is that he's going to go after Drew McIntyre, the WWE Champion, for the WWE Championship, and make both him and Reigns the World Champions in WWE. He comes in and makes quick work of Ricochet and Mustafa Ali, and he's there boasting in the ring when number 6 comes out, Dominic Mysterio. His dad, Rey Mysterio, is a former Royal Rumble winner, so will Dominic be able to do the same? Dominic comes out and basically evens out the playing field. The ring begins to fill up when we see Otis enter at number 7 and then Keith Lee at number 8. These entrants are just going to be able to fill the numbers up. They'll have their moments later on in the match, but just right now they're here just to hit their moves, you know, sort of fill up the ring and prepare for number 9, Seth Rollins. As you know, Seth Rollins was last seen at Survivor Series and has taken time off due to paternity leave when he's had a child with Becky Lynch. I'm also going to add here, Becky Lynch will be in the Women's Royal Rumble match as well. It's not confirmed, but I just think there's a strong possibility because we've already seen her working out since giving birth. And I just think it'll be cool to see both Lynch and Rollins back. So he comes in and he straight away focuses on Dominic Mysterio. And I know the Rollins and Mysterio feud has been going on for an eternity, but Rollins might feel hard done by the fact that he lost the rivalry, he lost his disciple Murphy to Aaliyah Mysterio, and Seth Rollins will basically come here and get the last laugh by eliminating Dominic from the Royal Rumble match. And for anyone that thinks that this might ruin Dominic's momentum, he's apparently the favourite to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania this year, so I wouldn't worry too much. I should also add that there will be a few more eliminations before number 10 comes out. Ricochet is going to end up getting eliminated by Mustafa Ali. Then Mustafa Ali will also get eliminated by Keith Lee, thanks to a distraction by Ricochet. So number 10's about to come out, and I think it's time we had somebody from NXT. Let's add Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa has been a key figure in NXT over the past number of years and is one half of the greatest rivalry in NXT's history, with former DIY partner Johnny Gargano. And just think about some of the men that are going to be in the ring when Ciampa's entering. You've got Keith Lee, who's a former NXT champion, and also you've got Seth Rollins. If you think about that match, Seth Rollins versus Tommaso Ciampa, WWE, make it happen and take my money. Number 11 then comes out and it's Apollo Crews. Now for prior reference here, Apollo Crews is the new Intercontinental Champion. I'm not sure if there'll be an Intercontinental Championship match at the Royal Rumble, but with Sami Zayn costing Crews and Big E their match, I can see a triple threat match happening, and it will probably happen at the Royal Rumble, and Apollo Crews will defeat Sami Zayn. Apollo Crews just comes in and adds up to the numbers, and number 12 comes out, and it's Mr. Money in the Bank, The Miz. If you've been keeping track, you might have realised that the former Mr. Money in the Bank holder is still in the Rumble, but that is quickly sorted out as The Miz quickly dispatches of Otis. John Morrison is with The Miz and assists with the elimination from outside the ring. Number 13 comes out and it's another confirmed entrant. It's Daniel Bryan. The Miz's expression quickly changes as his biggest rival enters the matchup. This will be the focus right now as Bryan goes straight after The Miz, and The Miz is eventually eliminated by Daniel Bryan just as number 14 arrives, the now former Intercontinental Champion, Big E. Big E comes in and he's still furious about losing the title to Apollo Crews, and he comes in and immediately eliminates Crews from the match, setting up more momentum so Big E can get a rematch for the championship. Now number 15, and I'm surprisingly confident with this one. I don't know why, but I've got a feeling this man is going to be in the match. He is a former NXT North American champion. He's a man who has surprised a lot of people throughout NXT and the WWE. He is the modern day James Ellsworth. Leon Ruff enters the Royal Rumble match. Don't worry, he won't be here long, but he's just here to make up the numbers. He comes in, shows off his athletic ability by dodging the larger men in the ring, and as he goes after Jey Uso throws him out. He doesn't want to get embarrassed by Leon Ruff, and he just throws Ruff clean out, and because of the size of Leon Ruff, you can imagine that it's going to be a pretty nasty bump. So number 16 comes out, and it's another former Intercontinental Champion. It's the Liberator, Sami Zayn. Now, we've seen Sami Zayn have this documentary team behind him, and I cannot wait for that documentary to come out. I think it's going to be one of the best things in wrestling when it eventually comes out. But he comes out and he's got a microphone and he's talking about the conspiracies about how he was robbed of the match earlier in the night where he lost the Intercontinental Championship. And he will begin to do the same thing that he did on SmackDown this week, and he will protest by standing outside the ring and waiting for everyone to finish before he goes in and finishes the match. But he's then interrupted by the countdown for number 17, and he sarcastically makes a comment about there being another return. And to be honest, it's going to be another return of some kind. And this man's a former Intercontinental Champion in his own right. But right now, he is a member of the NXT broadcast team. Wade Barrett has entered the Royal Rumble match, and he approaches Sami Zayn, who begins to retreat and instinctively runs into the ring to avoid Barrett, where he is met by Big E. Barrett then enters the ring without Sami Zayn realising, and then hits Sami Zayn with the ball hammer. Big E then just gives him the nod so Barrett can throw Sami Zayn out of the ring. Barrett's then just doing his thing when number 18 arrives, King Corbin. He's a guaranteed heat magnet, and he comes straight in and attacks guys like Ciampa, Big E, Barrett, all the faces in the ring. In this process, Corbin manages to throw out Tommaso Ciampa. If you remember last year, Corbin was the man who eliminated Matt Riddle, so I think this could be a start of maybe a potential thing for King Corbin, where he just eliminates all the NXT guys. And in this time period, Jey Uso eliminates Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett doesn't have to be in there long, but his presence will excite a lot of people, especially those from the United Kingdom. Jey Uso eliminating Wade Barrett will be the last thing that happens as the countdown for number 19 approaches, and the focus of the camera will be on Jey Uso for a specific reason, because number 19 is the return of his twin brother Jimmy Uso. The last time we saw Jimmy Uso was at Hell in a Cell when he came to the aid of Jey Uso during the this is a long one, hang on, during the Universal Championship Hell in a Cell I Quit match. That is a mouthful, but at this point only Jey has aligned with Reigns and Paul Heyman, so Jimmy will probably come in and be a face and try and sort of talk to Jey. He comes in and they're in a situation where Jimmy and Jey have to work as a tag team, as we're used to the Usos being. So for a brief moment we get the Usos working together, but when things have calmed down, Jey grabs Jimmy and throws him out of the ring. Jimmy doesn't need to be in the ring long, he's just come back from a injury and he ain't gonna have the fitness levels to sustain a long time in this match. Number 20 then comes out and it's Cesaro. He's another favourite to win the entire thing. So Cesaro's been having a bit of a feud with Daniel Bryan at the moment, and it's been quite interesting. So Cesaro comes in and straight away goes to attack Bryan, but then others get involved before anyone can eliminate anyone. I should also point out here that King Corbin has eliminated Big E. King Corbin is also a potential contender for the Intercontinental Championship, and I think this would be a strong way to show that. So then number 21 comes out, and it's the phenomenal AJ Styles. So what I've seen over the past number of weeks, apparently it's rumoured that Styles wants WrestleMania matches against Triple H and Edge in the future. And I would plant a seed here for a match between AJ Styles and Edge. Edge should be returning anytime soon from his injury that he sustained at Backlash. And even though we won't see anything of Edge here or any reference to Edge, AJ Styles entering at number 21 is a nice little Easter egg, just sort of tease it, and only the smart eye would probably be able to pick it up. So AJ comes in, does his thing, and just sort of makes the playing field neutral. He calms things down, ready for number 22 to come out, the current NXT UK champion Walter. Now, since the conception of NXT UK, we haven't had an official representative of the brand, and I debated between Walter and the current Cruiserweight champion Jordan Devlin, but I chose Walter because he is more familiarised by global audiences. And before you say anything, Pete Dunne technically wasn't a representative of the NXT UK brand, he was part of the NXT brand at the time. But also think about the men that are in the ring at this point. Keith Lee is still in there, Seth Rollins is in there, Daniel Bryan is also in there, who shares similar characteristics to Ilya Dragunov, the man that Walter brutally up and murdered a few months ago in a UK Championship match. But that's not even the most interesting battle here. Imagine Walter against Cesaro, two strong hitters. Austria versus Switzerland would be a marquee match at any pay-per-view. Honestly, think about it. But anyway, number 23 is about to come out, and I think we should add another European to this match. Out comes the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus. Sheamus has become a close associate of Drew McIntyre as of late, and people are anticipating a potential breakup between Sheamus and McIntyre, and maybe even a match for the WWE Championship between the pair. Sheamus and Keith Lee have also had their moments recently on Raw, and it will be a focus in this match. But the thing is, Cesaro is obviously still in the match as well. Cesaro and Sheamus used to be a part of the Bar, so it'll be interesting to see how they would get along. So in this space, I would have Cesaro eliminate Keith Lee. Cesaro needs to show off his strength if he's going to be a strong contender, as it looks like WWE are pushing him in that direction, and eliminating somebody like Keith Lee with the size that Keith Lee is will really remind people of the level of strength and power that Cesaro's got. King Corbin is also going to be eliminated, but he's going to be eliminated by Walter, and I am begging that they do this with a chop so hard that it makes Corbin literally himself. Not really, but I just want to see Corbin get battered. It'll be hilarious. Number 24 comes out, and it's John Morrison. The Miz is coming out with him again. The Miz wasn't hurt too much, so he'll still have some kind of time to recover and come out for John Morrison. But as John Morrison is about to enter, the Miz stops him and tries to hype up Morrison. But as the Miz is unintentionally distracting John Morrison, Sheamus is ready for a bro kick. And as Morrison slides into the ring, he's met by the bro kick and is eliminated immediately. And if it's done right, it could set a new record holder for the quickest elimination, which is actually held by Sheamus at the moment, so it'll be a nice little transition of that record. Number 25 comes out, and it's one of the heavy hitters, the current United States champion and the CEO of the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley. And Lashley cleans house, eliminates Walter and Sheamus from the match almost instantly, and he just goes around and just brutalizes people. Number 26 comes out, and it's Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's someone who's got a lot of unique offense, and that excites enough people where he can just come in, do moves such as the Twist of Fate and the Whisper in the Wind, and just allow the time to just go forward. Number 27 comes out, and it's a man who had an incredible 2020. It's the Viper Randy Orton. Now this is where things are going to get weird. As we know at the moment, Randy Orton is currently in a feud with The Fiend Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss a few weeks ago shot a fireball into Orton's face, causing Orton to wear this mask. And to sell this injury, we can't have Orton in the ring for too long. So Orton enters, hits power slams, he hits his DDT, he hits a few RKOs. And as he's the only one standing in the ring, the arena goes dark. When the lights come on, it's The Fiend's like flickering lights. That thing that he has at the moment. Anyway, the Fiend comes in and immediately throws Orton out of the ring, and then the arena goes dark again. And when the lights turn on, the Fiend is gone and everyone is just confused. They snap back into reality as the clock begins ticking for number 28, Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke runs in, and in typical fashion of Shinsuke's nature, he kicks the living out of everyone he sees, even Cesaro. And then number 29 comes out, and it's Matt Riddle. He's been involved with the Hurt Business lately, and he looks to be one of the contenders for Lashley's United States Championship. So to continue this idea, I would have Riddle eliminate Lashley to cement the matchup for a future pay-per-view. We'll also see Seth Rollins get eliminated by Daniel Bryan at this point. Seth Rollins will probably still have enough fitness to carry on going for a while, but we don't need him to be one of the top contenders. The final countdown begins, and anticipation begins to build, since this is the favoured spot for the Royal Rumble match. In the number 30 spot, you have better odds than everyone else, so whoever this entrant is automatically becomes one of the favourites. The buzzer sounds, and out comes Brock Lesnar, accompanied by Paul Heyman. And I know that a lot of people are going to be upset about Brock Lesnar being the final spot, but it makes sense eventually, as I'll explain. But this will be interesting to Jey Uso, who has a distant relationship with Paul Heyman through Roman Reigns. And also I have robbed everyone of a potential encounter between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley, but there doesn't seem to be any plans between a match between Lesnar and Lashley at this point, so we might as well save that for when it eventually happens. So Lesnar comes in and pretty much straight away, like Lashley did, eliminates people left, right and centre. He eliminates Jeff Hardy, eliminates Matt Riddle, and then he's confronted by Jey Uso. Jey Uso tries to stand up to Lesnar, but Lesnar just throws him out, with Heyman looking disappointed because of Jey Uso's stupidity. So we're down to the final 6, and the next person to go after Brock Lesnar will be Daniel Bryan. If you remember, they had an incredible match at Survivor Series in 2018, and Bryan will be familiar with how to take down Lesnar. But as Lesnar goes to eliminate Bryan, he is attacked by the team of Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. So Lesnar throws both Cesaro and Nakamura over the top rope, but they're not eliminated. But Daniel Bryan managed to catch Cesaro with the running knee and sends him out of the match, but Nakamura manages to get back into the ring. So we're down to the final 4. We've got Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura and Brock Lesnar. I would have Bryan go after Lesnar, and I would have Styles go after Nakamura. Lesnar will suplex Bryan out of the match, and Nakamura will throw Styles out of the match, maybe even with a Kinshasa. So now we have got Shinsuke Nakamura versus Brock Lesnar. So in typical Royal Rumble fashion, it seems to be the last two men are the people that go on to contend for the World Championships at WrestleMania, and I strongly believe it'll be Lesnar facing Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship and Shinsuke Nakamura against Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Also, both of these men have won Royal Rumble matches in the past, with Lesnar winning it in 2003 and Nakamura winning it in 2018. These two have also got history from their time in Japan. Brock Lesnar defended the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura in the main event of the annual New Japan event that is held in the Tokyo Dome, the final event before the event's rebrand as Wrestle Kingdom in 2007. So 15 years after that match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, they meet again, this time to win the Royal Rumble match in 2021. And after a 5-minute battle back and forth, Brock Lesnar eventually wins the Royal Rumble match by eliminating Nakamura. Now I know this is going to upset a lot of people, but it makes sense because it seems like WWE are setting up a rematch between McIntyre and Lesnar for the main event of WrestleMania, and it wouldn't make sense to just bring Lesnar in and just straight away put him as the #1 contender. You got to give Lesnar a reason to be there, and what better way to do that than to win the Royal Rumble match? And as recent years have shown us, they want to build Brock Lesnar to be one of the best of all time, and making him a 2-time Royal Rumble winner is definitely one way to do that, making him join the list of Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, John Cena, Batista and Randy Orton on 2 Rumble wins. Don't worry, Steve Austin still holds a record with 3. So yeah, that's how I'd do it. So if we want to recap, the NXT stars that we had to come in were Tommaso Ciampa, Leon Ruff and Walter. We had returns from Wade Barrett and Carlito, and we had loads of little storylines going throughout, and I think with what WWE can do right now, considering all the pandemic and all that bollocks, I think this is the best way WWE can do it. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this, and comment down below how you would book the Royal Rumble match differently to myself. Like I said in the start of the video, I will be live streaming my reactions to the Royal Rumble match, so come and join me for that. And yeah, I will see you in the next one, guys. See you later.